Hello friends of the vinyl, this is another video of mine. I haven't done those for a very long time, but I was doing some thinking and it's not that unusual that people that actively post VC oriented videos sometimes take a kind of a sabbatical or just drop out for a while for whatever reasons. But I felt like it and I thought let's just give it a try. And it's a very hot day here in Germany, but well, if I'm sweating too much on camera, it only adds certainly not to the mystique but to the authenticity. So let's talk about music. So I've been listening to all kind of albums, some old, some very new, and I wanted to show you some of the things I have been putting on my turntable lately. If you hear some weird noise, it's just the cat always doing some ruckus. So this is a nice one. This is called The Exotic Orient in the Flesh, and is an album from I think like 1971. Yes. 1970. The first edition was from 1970. This is a good example of 60s, 70s belly dance music, but back in the day this was usually a kind of a very orchestral thing. This is there are only 3 tracks on this album, so those are very long tracks. So this is only meant for belly dancers with some stamina. And the A-side is recorded by Faruk, Salamé and his orchestra, and the 2 tracks on the B-side are recorded by Aboud, Abdelaal and his orchestra, so produced by Daniel der Sahakian. So I know one of them is from Egypt, is an Egyptian composer and arranger, and the other one is from Lebanon. This record was released in Lebanon. So the sound is quite fantastic. I mean, this is the type of music that can help you escape the burdens of the daily life, because it has a very exotic and escapistic type of sound. So it's recorded with an orchestra with a lot of Middle Eastern percussions, and so you can kind of imagine how this sounds. But I was thinking, instead of blathering so much about what a record sounds, I should rather try to offer you some short needle drops. I've never done that before in that way. Probably I was just too lazy, but we just try. And if it sounds too awful, I will just try to replace the audio tracks with the music, just with a snippet of a MP3 or something, because usually, personally, I don't like it that much when music gets picked up by the microphone of a cell phone, for example. I just don't like the quality of it, but whatever. Am I rambling? But maybe you understand what I'm trying to say. So let's just put on the A side and see what happens. Quite a charming music that can kind of kidnap you into a world of 60s spy movies that take place somewhere in the Middle East. Also, this is a nice chance to use my Audio Technica turntable because my Technics 1210 is upstairs next to my computer, but downstairs here I have this automated Audio Technica, and it's actually kind of pleasant. Back in the day I would be too much of a snob about it, thinking like, no, I need a fully manual turntable, nothing else will do it. But I realized it's for certain occasions it's much nicer to have a sort of button controlled automated turntable. Just push a button and walk away. And what's even better is the fact that once the record is over, it shuts itself down all by itself, which you know how it was sometimes when you just forget about your 1210 or something and drive away to meet some people and come home 6 hours later and the record is still turning in the last groove. Aşk by Altın Gün, their fifth album. I've seen this being shown around on VC, so this band has reached quite a level of popularity at this point in time. This is a Dutch or Netherlands-based band with half of the band being Turkish and playing a quite fiery mixture of funk and Anadolu rock, so Anatolian kind of psychedelic rock. So this is their thing. They're picking up tunes and songs from the 60s and 70s and rearranging them, kind of all Istanbul and Anatolia based popular tunes, and rearranging them into their style of music. There's some little bit of lineup change here, but I think stylistically this album is a step back into a kind of more Anadolu rock oriented direction after their last two albums were kind of a little more I think more disco-ish and more inspired by sort of 80s synth pop and stuff like that. But by the way, Aşk, the title of the album, means love in Turkish, and that's what I like. You can just push the button and everything else just happens. It's actually not so bad. Automation. So let's have a little needle drop. So this was released on Glitterbeat. Glitterbeat is one of my favorite labels. I mean, they can really do no wrong. And yeah, this is great energy. I really like this album. And it seems they are not running out of tunes and songs, old songs to rearrange, but this only shows you how incredibly rich and fertile this whole Turkish music movement was in the 60s and 70s. Yeah, so this is Aşk by Altın Gün. Thijs Elzinga replaced Ben Ryder on guitar. That's kind of the big lineup change compared to the previous albums. And yeah, lovely record. This will be shown around on VC, I think. So let's get to the next one. This is the new album by Gaye Akyol. So the Empress of Istanbul is back. This is her fourth album. It's called Anadolu Ejderi, which means the Anatolian dragon. Hence the dragons here in this graphic. This is once again very lovely album, and continues her somewhat almost idiosyncratic style. I would say compared with the previous album, this one is also maybe a little similarly, kind of like the Altın Gün album maybe. It's kind of a little stripped back, a little more rock oriented, a little more kind of psychedelic rock and Anadolu rock oriented. I mean, her previous album was very almost eclectic, kind of merging all type of musical styles, and I like to compare Gaye Akyol a little bit with Kate Bush. They have very different voices, but the approach towards production and songwriting and lyrics is very similar and always very whimsical and very inventive. But just have a short listen on the push of a button, so to speak. Almost a little painful to switch it off. So this is Anadolu Ejderi by Gaye Akyol from Istanbul. So let's continue with this album here. This is one that I got probably a year ago and I still enjoy it very much. So this is a band called Lalalar, and to large extent this is basically the band of Gaye Akyol that I've shown you before. At least half of the guys here are from her band. So this is kind of Gaye Akyol adjacent project, and this is their first album. For a while I had these two 7-inches from them. They all came out on the Bongo Joe label in Geneva. And I always thought this band is great, and when will they finally get out their own album? And yeah, so this came out on Bongo Joe, and it's quite incredible. So this is a kind of weird mixture of Turkish hip hop and all kind of jazz funk combined into this energetic brew. So the singer is quite great. I like his voice. So this is like a double album. A lot of tracks here, and I just don't want to pick a track now. I just start with the A side. Nice vinyl color. Someone is chasing the chicken outside. Probably one of the cats. So let's give it a listen. So you get the picture. I like this kind of a dark wave influence. It paints a very kind of different imagery of today's Istanbul. This came out last year, and this was certainly one of my favorite albums last year. The name of the album is Cinnete Bakar, which translated into English means this looks crazy. And yeah, that's really a lovely band that probably may appeal to some of you. What have I have 3 more records here to show you. This one I discovered not that long ago. This is something I purchased probably a month ago, maybe 2. Again, a Glitterbeat production. Everything I'm showing you today is either from Glitterbeat or from Bongo Joe. Yeah, this is a band called Al-Qasar, and the name of the album is Who Are We? So this is an amazing Arab beat album combined with elements of trip-hop, hip-hop, and all kind of interesting influences coming together. I think a perfect soundtrack for the new multipolar world order. And of course I will not neglect you a little needle drop. I mean, after I heard this for the first time, I immediately liked it. I thought this is just amazing. It's very hypnotic. Also, it's a type of sound where you immediately feel that these guys are not taking shit from anyone, as it should be. And yeah, this is a nice discovery for me. Kind of bringing together this sort of music of Maghreb and Sahara and North Africa, and combine it with some cool beats and some cool hip-hop type of elements, and it goes together really well. And yeah, exciting album. The last two albums I have here are both from the same artist, who is a Turkish artist but living in Hamburg, Germany, and working under the name Anadol. And those are two records that I have here. This is a very interesting music that is very difficult to describe, which lends itself very well to try a little needle drop here. Once again, I just put it on the turntable and let's see what happens. This is a very interesting music, but let's just listen a bit first. so on. So this music has very sort of cute home studio vibe to it. There's probably a lot of sampling going on, and at the same time it has this very whimsical and playful approach, and sometimes it has a little bit of a kind of vicious humor, and at times it sounds strangely jazzy, and it has a very, very kind of a rainy feeling about it. At least that's how it appears to me. It's like a kind of a soundtrack to a moody, bad weather day when you are at home, and just listen to music. And this album here, yeah, and by the way, the album is called Uzun, Havalar, which is kind of a wordplay that I don't really get, but it has something to do with weather, actually. And this is a Felicita, maybe Felicita, which is another album by Anadol, and that one, of course, I will put on as well. And the imagery is just so lovely and kind of subversive at the same time. So there's something intentionally unpretentious about it, and something intentionally, I wouldn't call it amateurish, but it certainly tries to evoke this feeling of well, kind of average people living in their concrete buildings and having their life. So this is kind of what the music resonates with. It doesn't try to be spectacular. But within this framework, it's very inventive and very idiosyncratic. So I think to a large extent this music tries to reflect upon the feelings or the impressions of the kind of a migrant, Turkish migrant life in Germany maybe, but a very sort of daily average life without any kind of spectacle. And the music kind of reflects it, and I think the cover reflects it as well. both albums can be very hypnotic in parts. Very glitchy. So again, it has this kind of a rainy, moody atmosphere. But overall, this is a wonderful artist. Very, very authentic, very innovative, very playful. So this was Felicita by Anadol. And yeah, for now, those are all the records I wanted to show you. So I hope this was interesting. And I think I will trim it a little bit while editing this video, and I will certainly replace the musical parts with proper audio tracks, just so you can hear the music properly. And have a nice day, and see you next time.